Abdul Malik needed an Arabic text to compete with the Jewish and Christian scriptures, an Arabic book for Arabic people in the Arabic language. According to Dr. Stephen Shoemaker, this is the real creation of the Quran. With me here, of course, to further unpack this is Dr. J. Smith. Dr. J, what do we mean by this paradigm that you've referenced as Abdul Malik and Al-Hajjaj paradigm?
Well, the Noldeki-Shwali paradigm zeroed in on Uthman. What Shoemaker is now creating is saying, no, let's talk about another paradigm, and he calls it the Abdul Malik Al-Hajjaj paradigm. Or he doesn't really call it that, I'm calling it that, but that's really what he's pointing to. So he's bringing it from 652 to around the turn of the century. So he's bringing it back about 50 years. And he's saying, no, this is where the Quran was actually really put together. Let's just open up with some of the quotes that he has in his book here.
And that's the heart of his book, Creating the Quran.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now we're well into what he's been trying to get at for almost 50 pages. This is page 46. He says this: the Meccan-Medinan Codex was almost certainly no more than a regional version of the Quran that held authority in Medina and perhaps in Mecca as well. As such, it must be understood as simply another of the so-called companion codices collected independently in Syria and Iraq. Uthman's collection was simply one among many early collections. So he's already admitting that there was an Uthmanic collection, but it's not the final one, not the canonical one, not the one that we have in our hand here. That's what he's saying. This is not it.
Right.
Now, Robinson wades into this as well, and he quotes from Robinson. And Robinson says, Abdul Malik had a clear interest. As we shall see, his imperial program was in very large measure executed by broadcasting ideas of order and obedience in a distinctly Islamic idiom. What is more, unlike previous caliphs, Abdul Malik had the resources to attempt such a redaction and to impose the resulting text, which, amongst all its competitors, we inherit. So what is he saying? Well, take a look. Just look and see what's happening on the ground. We've said this to always do this. Look and see who are the main powers. And remember, this has always been a category that we've admitted. In order to have something that is different than that which has come before. So what has come before? Well, you have the Old and New Testament. You have those revelations that have come to the Jews and the Christians. The Jews have the Old, the Christians have the New. Now you have another group that are not neither Jew nor Christian. They are anti-Trinitarian. They would still call themselves Christian, but they are from the line of Ishmael, not from the line of Isaac. So they're in the Nabatean area. They're all in Syria, and they're also part of Iraq. These are the Arabs who look to their lineage as coming from Ishmael. Cousins with the Jews and Christians, but not from the same block, you might say.
Right.
But the Jews and Christians have a text. The Ishmaelites don't have a text. They even call themselves Ishmaelites. They refer to themselves as Ishmaelites. We can see that when we get to John of Damascus. He's very clear that this is a heresy, the heresy of the Ishmaelites. He calls it that. They don't call themselves Muslims. There's nobody called Muslims necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in the end of the 7th century, moving into the 8th century. Abdul Malik is from the Marwanid family, the Sufyani family, which Muawiyah was part of and started as part of the Umayyad Caliphate up in Damascus. He was not from the Marwanid family. He was very much a Christian. We've seen this from the inscriptions. We've seen this from the coins. You and I have gone through this before. He refers to himself as the leader of the believers, the Mubin. And then he also...
Mu'minin, you mean?
And he also...
Amir al-Mu'minin.
That's right, Mu'minin. And he also refers to puts crosses on his coins and puts crosses above his head, puts crosses on holding a cross, and he also puts it on the inscriptions. So he's very much a Christian, a Trinitarian Christian. He is part of the other group. Here comes the Marwanid family who eradicate the Sufyani family, take over, and the Marwans are really Ishmaelites, and they see their lineage through Ishmael, and that's why they are anti-Trinitarian. They are very clearly against the Byzantine Christianity. There you have Abdul Malik, then comes from Marwan, his father, and takes over in 685, and he rules to 705, so he rules for 10 years. But he is the big player. He is, if you'll ask anybody who is the major player of the Umayyad Caliphate, it's always Abd al-Malik. Abd al-Malik is the one that introduces Arabic as the lingua franca for the whole area. Abd al-Malik is the one that enlarges the borders. Abd al-Malik is the one living in Damascus who builds that huge building right there in Jerusalem. And we've talked about the Dome of the Rock. It's still there today. You can look at it. It's the most resplendent building. It takes your vision. As soon as you go to Jerusalem, it's the thing that stands out above everything else, and it's sitting right there on the Holy Mount. This is where Jesus is going to come back. This is where everybody's waiting for. This is where the Messiah is going to return for the Jews. This is the Holy of Holies. And he's the one that puts this structure right there on the Holy of Holies. And what does he do? He's attacking right, left, and center the person of Jesus Christ. He's not the person of Jesus, sorry, his divinity and the Trinity and his sonship. And that's where he introduces the Shahada with another second of the associators put in there. But he is the one that is actually the kingpin. He is the one that now introduces Arabic as a lingua franca, but he also therefore needs an Arabic text. He is the one that now needs to have something that can compete with the Old and New Testament. He needs to have a revelation that competes with that. So what Shoemaker is saying here is, look at Abd al-Malik. You need someone of that stature. You need someone who's big, who's powerful, who has authority, like a caliph would have. But not just any caliph. A caliph who also has the vision, and a caliph who has the charisma, and a caliph who, therefore, confronts this notion of the Trinity and the divinity of Jesus and introduces a new paradigm. This is the man that makes sense then. To create that identity for the Ishmaelites, he has to have his revelation. Jews and Christians have their revelation. Where's ours? It's a sense of identity, creating identity.
Right.
And that's why you see in the Quran an Arabic book for the Arabic people in the Arabic language. Why would they keep on saying Arabic, Arabic, Arabic? Unless, of course, Arabic is the lingua franca. This is an Arab revelation. So that's what we're going to start with. Now we're going to start unpacking it more in the following episodes. But let's get that in there. This is where he's now introducing, both he and Robinson are saying, we've got to pinpoint Abd al-Malik.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us. Until next episode, have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel CIRA International and click on the bell so that you receive notifications whenever we publish a new video or go live. I would also like to appeal to you to consider becoming a Patreon patron by clicking the link right below. By doing so, you can give towards the production of these videos. There are also other options for you where you can give to our channel. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.